Hi, friends. Today I want to tell you a new story. Hope you enjoy it. My sister-in-law laughed and said, "I used your college money to buy my dream house, say goodbye to being a doctor." But she didn't know I had already moved the $800,000. When her deal failed, I revealed her biggest secret. Hey, Reddit. My parents died when I was just 16. They left me a small inheritance and a big dream. That dream helped me get through all the sadness and feeling alone. My parents worked hard their whole lives so I could have something they didn't, a chance to go to medical school. They left almost $800,000, which was saved in a college fund my uncle managed until I turned 18. I was always a responsible kid, the kind who stayed up late to study, helped out at a clinic, and saw my parents' gift as more than money. It was a purpose. I didn't want to be a doctor for the money or status. I wanted to help people, because no one could help my parents when they were sick. That fund meant everything. Every dollar was part of the life I planned to build. When I turned 18, my uncle gave me full control, just like he promised. I set up a trust and made it super secure, so no one could touch it without my okay. My sister-in-law, Melissa, always acted weird when money came up. She married my older brother Daniel 5 years ago. Right away, I could tell she was bad news. She grew up rich, but her family lost everything when she was a teen. Since then, she acted like the world owed her for her tough years. Melissa was the type to wear only fancy brands, post perfect photos online, and talk like she was meant for a rich life. I put up with her because she was family, but I always knew she looked down on me. Once, when I got into a pre-med program, she said becoming a doctor was just a poor person's way to chase money, and that I should just marry someone rich. I didn't listen. I ignored her rude comments and the way she acted. I just kept studying and focused on my goals, but I didn't know Melissa had been quietly watching me, waiting for her chance. And she found it. About 3 months ago, Melissa overheard from Daniel that I had full control of my college money. I had moved a small amount to pay some school fees, and Daniel mentioned it in passing. That was all she needed to hear. She started asking casual questions. Where was the money kept? Who handled the account? Was med school really worth it when people online made tons of money just dancing on TikTok? I didn't tell her anything, of course, but Melissa was sneaky. Over the next few weeks, she started being extra nice to me, acting like she cared and wanted to help. I didn't trust her, but I didn't expect what she was about to do. Then I got the call. It was a quiet Sunday morning. I was sipping coffee and reviewing biochem flashcards when my phone rang. It was Melissa. She sounded thrilled. "I hope you're not mad," she said. "I just put in an offer on my dream house, and guess what? I used your college fund." "I know, it's a shock, but really, it's for the best. You're not cut out for med school anyway. You should have seen the house, marble counters, 5 bedrooms, a closet bigger than your whole place. You'll thank me later." I sat there frozen. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My college money? How? I opened my banking app, my heart pounding. The account was untouched. The $800,000 was still there. That's when it hit me. She had tried to steal the money, but didn't know I had already moved it days ago into a separate, super secure trust. You couldn't get in without fingerprint and Face ID. I'd moved it after a scam hit our campus. I wanted to be safe, so I put it in a more protected account. Melissa must have tried to take the money, failed, and bragged before checking. I acted clueless. I asked her for details. She said she had already signed for the house and paid a deposit, using what she thought was my college fund. I'm guessing she faked some documents, or tricked Daniel into giving her access, and tried to wire the money to the seller, but it didn't work. Now she had a problem. I ended the call calmly. She had no idea I was already digging for the truth. I looked deeper and found everything. Melissa had tried to fake my signature and even made a fake email pretending to be me. She had contacted my bank, pretending to be me, to move the money. But she wasn't careful. Everything left a trail. I gathered all the proof and went to a lawyer. We started putting together a response. But that wasn't all. Melissa had a dark secret. Before she married my brother, she had been in a hit-and-run car accident. She never got caught, the case went cold, but she had told someone, her old best friend, Tara. They later had a falling out. I remembered Tara once hinting Melissa wasn't as perfect as she seemed. I contacted Tara, saying I needed the truth for legal reasons. She still had the dashcam video Melissa had once sent her, bragging that she got away with it. Now I had the footage. So not only had Melissa tried to steal my money, But she also had a criminal secret that could destroy her. Still, I waited. I wanted her to feel the pressure and understand what she did. 2 days later, she called again, this time in a panic. The house deal had fallen apart. The bank froze everything. The seller was threatening legal action because the money hadn't gone through. Daniel was furious. Melissa had told him it was a gift from my parents' estate. Now he was demanding answers. Melissa begged me to give her the money. That's when I told her. I said I knew it all, that the money was safe. Her plan failed, and I had proof of everything: fraud, ID theft, and more. She screamed, threatened me, and even tried to make me feel guilty by bringing up Daniel. But I stayed calm and said 7 words that stopped her cold. I know about the hit and run. The call ended. That's when everything started falling apart. As soon as I said, I know about the hit and run, the line went dead. I stared at my phone, half expecting Melissa to call back right away. She didn't. I pictured her face, shocked, pale, panicking. She finally realized this wasn't just about a failed house deal. This was serious. Her dark secret had come back, and I was the one who found it. Then, silence. No texts, no calls, even Daniel didn't reach out. But the silence didn't feel peaceful. It felt like the kind that comes before a storm. I wasn't just waiting for her to strike, I was getting ready for it. My lawyer had already started everything. We reported the fraud to the bank, sent them all the fake emails and call recordings, and handed the hit-and-run video to the police. It was all in motion. But the next shock didn't come from Melissa. It came from Daniel. He showed up at my place without warning. He looked terrible, tired, pale, holding a manila envelope. His eyes were filled with guilt. He didn't speak at first, just walked in, sat at my table, and handed me the envelope. Inside were copies of everything Melissa had faked: signatures, emails, even a draft letter where she pretended I dropped out of college and asked for a refund to be sent to her. Daniel had searched her computer after the house deal fell apart. When the seller threatened legal action, he started digging, and found it all. He was crushed. But the worst part, he said, was that he had believed her. She told him the money was a gift from my parents, meant for the family. He never checked the will, never doubted her. And now he hated himself for it. He begged me not to destroy her, not for her sake, but for their kids, my niece and nephew, only 7 and 5, too young to understand any of this, too innocent to get caught in the middle. He asked me to take a different path, maybe civil charges, a settlement, anything but jail. I told him I'd think about it. But inside, I already knew what I had to do. This wasn't just about money. Melissa tried to ruin my life, steal my future, and laughed while doing it. If it had been the other way around, she wouldn't have shown me mercy. And if I let her get away with it, she'd just do it to someone else. Still, I didn't want to hurt the kids. So, I did something different. I met Melissa in person. She didn't look like her usual self, no makeup, pale, hair tied up messily. She looked nervous and worn out. We met in a quiet cafe, just in case I needed witnesses. She tried to speak, but I raised my hand. I was doing the talking. I laid out the truth, calmly, clearly. I told her I had all the proof: the fraud, the fake emails, the forged papers, the video from the accident. I said the reports were already filed, the police and the district attorney knew, but I hadn't pushed the final button yet. Then I gave her a choice. Option 1, I go public, full charges, fraud, identity theft, attempted theft, jail, headlines, her name dragged through the mud, her kids taken away. Option 2, she gives Daniel full custody, files for divorce, leaves quietly and never contacts us again. I don't report the hit and run unless someone else does. I don't press criminal charges for the stolen money. But she pays Daniel back for every cent she took chasing her dream house. And she writes a full confession for my records, so she can't ever deny it. She was speechless. Then she cried. Not loudly, just silent tears sliding down her face as she nodded. She knew she'd lost. She thought I was just some quiet med student. She had no idea who I'd become. 2 weeks later, the divorce was filed. Daniel got full custody. Melissa signed everything. The house deal collapsed. She moved back in with her parents, 2 states away, her social life destroyed, her reputation gone. I never saw or heard from her again. Daniel apologized again and again, every day, 4 months. I forgave him, eventually. He hadn't been evil, just fooled, and in the end, he stood by me. As for me, I kept the college money, every single dollar. I finished pre-med and got into med school with honors. Now I'm halfway through residency. The dream my parents gave me? I'm living it. And every time I walk into a hospital room, I remember how close I came to losing it all, because of one selfish woman. But in the end, she lost more. Not because I destroyed her. Because she destroyed herself. And I made sure she never got another chance.